Starting point for all great Grand Tourers is, of course, the proportions. And what's so fantastic about the all-new Continental GT is we've been able to make a big step forward in terms of proportions. The footprint of the car is largely similar to the outgoing model, but we've taken the front axle over 100 millimeters forward, and that gives us more prestige mass or dash to axle. And what that means is it gives the car a much more athletic stance, an elegant stance, something more graceful, and the proportion of a true luxury GT. But the inspiration for the surfacing was what we called fuselage surfacing, which is inspired by aeronautical form, so how the wing of an aeroplane intersects the fuselage and the very interesting shapes that they create. It's something that's driven by function, but also very, very beautiful. So that was the inspiration for the surfaces. So we hung these type of surfaces on the key signature lines of the Continental, which gave a very, very sculptural and dramatic feeling in the surfaces. Very concave and convex surfaces, intersecting with a very flowing and beautiful sculpture. We start at the front of the new Continental. You have all the typical iconic features. So you have the matrix mesh grille, and you have the 4 round lights. But everything on the new car has been interpreted in a much more modern way. The engine inside the car is set further rearward and lower, which gives us the opportunity to push the bonnet down and make the bonnet look much longer. The grille itself is set lower, and so are the lights. And if you focus on the details inside the lights, that's where you really start to see the special design. The design is cut crystal, so it gives a real bit of luxury theatre when you approach the car. Moving to the side of the car, you can instantly see the DNA of the Continental GT. You have the power line over the front wheel and the haunch over the rear wheel. They're set in a slightly different position than the outgoing model, a little bit lower, a little bit more dynamic. And then the surfacing in between them, that's where the drama starts to come in. We've added a lot more sculpture to the surfaces. Of course, the wheel has been moved forward, which gives the car a much more Grand Tourer proportion. The rear of the car is a very, very big step forward in terms of design. You have iconic elements that we've played with, but purified them a little bit, pared them back. So the ellipses, which is a signature of Continental GT. In the current Continental, we have 2 inside the light, but we've had 1 iconic element, which is 1 pure ellipse on the rear. And that's incorporated within the horseshoe. The horseshoe is full width of the car, which gives the car a very wide appearance from the rear end, a very wide dominant stance.
So the art of designing a Grand Tourer is all about the driving experience. And so my main driver was to actually create an interior which was architecture dominant and technology subservient. And this means when you get into the car, you're greeted by beautiful veneers, wonderful leathers, the stitching, the craftsmanship. And only then when you start driving your car and you need the technology, would that come into play. So you've got a beautiful environment to drive in. We're quite unique at Bentley because we take inspiration for our dashboard from our founder's badge. So the Bentley badge you see on the steering wheel is actually the inspiration for the whole dashboard. And you'll see the lines of the dashboard follow the wing of the badge. And in fact, on the Continental GT, they run from the console all the way around the dashboard and into the doors, creating this feeling of spaciousness, a beautiful ambience. It's symmetrical, so you have a feeling of calm in the interior. It's just a wonderful place to be, but inspired by our founder's badge. So the Bentley Continental is renowned for certain features such as knurling, the beautiful diamond stitching, the wonderful veneers. And what we've done with the new car is develop these further, so they're more delightful in their detail, and perhaps over a period of time of ownership, you'll see more and more depth in the design. With the new Continental GT, I wanted to create a dashboard which on first glance was all about the veneer, the beauty of the materials. Let them sing to you when you see these wonderful veneers, wonderful leathers. And only when you need the technology would it become apparent. So we've actually created a rotating screen. It's 12.3-inch retina quality display, which rotates when you want it to show you all the information, the maps, the navigation information, the telephone for instance. And if you're driving and you want to switch all of this away, almost like an antidote to technology, you can rotate this screen a third time and actually have 3 beautiful driving instruments to look at.